Ready? Good morning. Joe Ciaccio here. Another training day. Had some agents call up and had some questions, so I thought I'd kind of change it up today and talk about two different areas of what we do. First one I want to talk about is cross-selling, and the second one is kind of the way to replace a policy and kind of do it carefully and get it done the right way. So I want to start off with like replacing a policy. What ends up happening is that a lot of agents go into a house, they see the client's got a policy, and they just kind of go in for the kill, wanting to replace it. Nothing wrong with that, but yet you need to know about the client's health, their finances, how long they've had that policy for, if there's any cash value in it, is their health different from when they got the policy to it is now. So whenever I go into a home and I see a client has a policy and they tell me they have one, the first thing I try to do is to tell them, why don't you give me your policy so I can review it for you, and then from there I can see what I can do to help you out. 99 out of 100 times, either they're going to get it or I'm going to ask them again to get it, and they will get it. You're going to get those stray people, 2 or 3 people that are going to tell you, I don't know where it's at, I've got it with my daughter, I've got it in my safety deposit box. They're going to give you some reason why they can't get it. So that makes me take a step backwards and say, or think, they really have a policy. Are they just telling me that because they don't want to buy something? So let's say they give you the policy. You look at it. Brand new agents, got no idea what you're looking at? Look at it, read it. That's how you get familiar with it. Learn it. If you're unsure, call me or call your manager, and we'll tell you what to look for, and then you can help the client out. Well, Joe, I feel kind of funny calling you. I don't want the client to think I don't know what I'm doing. Tell the client there's so many different policies out there, and I've seen hundreds of them tell them. Yet this one here is a little bit tricky. Let me do you a favor. Let me call up my manager. Let me call up somebody in the home office to give them the information, because I want to make sure I do the right thing for you. I don't think anybody's going to get mad at you for saying that. You get the policy. You say they had the policy for 5 years. Let's say they've got $900 in cash value in there. They started off with all the questions answered no. They had immediate benefits, and they had it with carrier ABC. What you're going to do is you're going to sit and evaluate what they have, evaluate what they want, and now you're going to compare the prices of their existing policy to a new add-on policy that's going to give them the full amount they want. Add those numbers together. First policy, let's say, is $50. Second policy is going to be $50. So you're looking at $100. So you go, okay. What if I were to get them a policy for, instead of 10 and 10, get them one for $25,000, providing they're in good health? And usually when you go from a simplified issue, if you can, to a company that has the $25,000 mark, the simplified issue, $25,000, almost all carriers have a little bit better rates than simplified issue. Underwriting's a little bit tougher. If the rate from the first one and the second one, let's say it's 50 and 50 is 100, and you can get them one for $25,000 and it's only $110, show them. Say, this is what you have. If I get you another one for 10, this is what it's going to be. But let me recommend you something that I did for a client last week. We went from the 10 and we added 15,000, got them 25 total, which is more than what you really need, yet going to cost more to pass away. The younger you are now, the longer you're going to live, the more it's going to cost. And it's only going to cost you, let's say it's $15 more than what they were willing to spend on the 10 plus the 10. Tell them it's only 50 cents a day more to get a full 25,000, which will give you more than enough of what you need. When it comes to replacing, you need to take your time, because you can't go in like a wild man. You can't go in and say, I got this here. You gotta go slow, because now you're telling them they want to give up that policy. And what people think is when they give up that policy, they're going to lose all that money they got in there. All that money, all the premiums they paid in, they're going to lose. They don't realize is that they paid premium for protection the last 5 years. What the company has done is that they've added money to their cash value, which would be an asset for you to tell them, you've had the policy for all these years here. They've given you protection for the last 5 years. All we're going to do is change from this train to a different train track. Premiums are just going to go from this company to another company, and everything is going to start, is just going to continue going where you are now. And the beauty about this here is that I'm going to see if you qualify, which hopefully you already know if they qualify when you start talking like this here. I'm going to see if you qualify for a program that you want. You say you have 10, you want 10 more. I'm going to see what I can do for you. And it may be smart for us just to get this policy here, roll it into a brand new one, and then what I'll be able to do is put some money in your pocket. How does that sound to you? Then you just say, okay. So then you go to the table of contents and you look at the numbers in the back. And it's going to tell you cash value. Some carriers have paid up additions. Some carriers have extended term insurance. Whenever you look at the numbers 1 through 20, let's say you're looking at policy year 5. When you look at policy year 5, that is going to be the end of year 5 when you see that number there. So if that number says $900 at the end of year 5, and you're in the middle of the fiscal year when they bought it, you kind of got to go year 4 and year 5 to get the middle part, okay? Or you can call the carrier up and ask them, if I was to cash my policy in now, how much cash value would I get if I want to cancel because I can't afford it? And they'll tell you exactly. If you want, you can do that. Personally, I'd rather give them somewhat of an idea. Tell them the answer I'm going to give you is going to either be 25 higher or 25 lower, 10 higher, 10 lower, to where you alleviate calling the carrier and the carrier saying something that throws a curveball into the client's mind. Go slow. You've always got a product that's better. 5 years till now, be a little tricky, okay? Unless they had a carrier that had high rates back then, okay? Or if they had high rates, or they had medical issues back then, and now it's come past the 2 years for heart attack, cancer, stroke, whatever carrier you put them with. So they may get a lower rate because their health might not have been good. Now they're inside or outside the window of a yes on the question, and you'll probably get them a better rate. Go slow. If you can, try to get them something done online where you get an approval right then and there. Ask the questions hard because they've already gone past their 2-year contestability. You roll them from an existing policy into a new one for you. You and I are thinking about how much commission can I make, what can I do for the client, yet it restarts their contestability for another 2 years. So just go slow, ask all the health questions, do a little bit more digging than you normally would for somebody who has answered a yes on a question or somebody that's a little bit up in age. Because believe it or not, sometimes people forget to tell you all the things that they've done wrong. Make sure you do a replacement form. Make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. And lastly, any notes that you make when you move somebody from one policy and roll it into yours, make sure you keep all the notes so God forbid something happens, you got a paper trail of what you did, what you spoke about, and all that there. Just be careful. Yet, it's beneficial if you can do it. Usually it's better if they got something 6 months or a year ago or a year and a half ago. You got a much better chance going from a simplified to a simplified because we've got carriers that are much lower in premiums and other of our competition has higher premiums, so it'll be much easier for you to make the flip to help them out. Okay, let's go to phase 2. Let's talk about cross-selling. Joe, what do you mean by cross-selling? Well, cross-selling means that you're going to talk to somebody about one product, and then you're going to try to discuss something else with them. Cross-selling can also be you go to their house for a final expense, and they tell you to come back because they want to talk about other things such as Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, a child policy, an accidental policy. That's cross-selling. To me, cross-selling begins when you're at the door. When you go to the door, you're going to show them the lead piece. Lead piece, you're going to have highlighted. You may qualify for a state-regulated life insurance to pay for your final expenses up to $25,000, $35,000. What I want you to do is highlight that there. And when you're at the door, they're going to ask you, what is this about? People sent the card in last week, last month. They could have sent it in yesterday and they forgot what they sent it in for. What I like doing, I'm at the door saying, you sent this card in for a couple of different reasons. The main one is you either wanted information on a burial policy, which is there, a final expense program, life insurance, or you maybe wanted some information for your child or grandchild. And sometimes people send it in, they want information on Medicare Advantage plans. So now what you've done, instead of saying, I'm here to talk to you about final expense, you kind of pigeonhole yourself. All you got is just final expense. You can go nowhere when they tell you no. So when they tell you no to final expense, say, okay, let's kind of go over the other things that you may have sent it in for. Do you already have life insurance? Yes, I do. Did you send it in because maybe you wanted some additional protection? Did you want to see if the rates you have were good, or do you want to see if there's something better out there? Again, tap your brakes, go slowly, because if you think about just that one lead that you have, it's got life insurance, final expense, and it's got burial written on there. So you got 3 different programs to talk about. We all know it's wrapped around either a whole life or a term or a UL. Yet when we're speaking with them, we can make it like it's 3 different programs. I've had people who have got life insurance and they send the card in because they want to get a burial program, because they want the life insurance to go to a certain beneficiary, and then they want the final expense burial program to go to somebody else to take care of just their burial. So when they say they have life insurance, say congratulations, I'm glad you got some. Yet this is for somebody who wants to get a burial program that is earmarked for their burial, their cremation, the visitation, the cemetery. That's primarily what this is for. Well, no, I got that taken care of. It's all right. Say, well, the other reason people send the card in, as I said earlier, is that, did you want some information on Medicare? They're going to say, well, I don't know. What do you have? Now, we have all these rules. So the rules are you can only talk about Medicare, you can only talk about life insurance. So what I would do is I would recommend you, because you never know who you're talking to, say, when it comes to Medicare, I've got to set an appointment to come back and see you. Okay? Do you mind if I come back today after lunch? Okay? You can be here after lunch. Made an appointment, you come back. Now, if the person wants to speak to you about a Medicare supplement, that is not governed by the CMS, where you have to make an appointment to come back. So you can talk about life insurance, you can talk about Medicare supplements at the same time. When it comes to a Medicare Advantage or the Part D prescription, you got to set an appointment to come back. Just be careful, because you don't know if you got like a secret mystery shopper or somebody trying to bust you. You don't know. So just do it by the books, because it's not worth getting a doggone blemish on your insurance license for something that we get excited about. Set an appointment to come back. Now, when you're at the door or on the phone speaking with somebody, when you say something, a lot of agents, what they're doing now is that they're taking a picture of the lead when they're on the phone, and texting it to the client. Because most clients now have cell phones. Some agents are even doing face-to-face if the client's got an iPhone, or they're doing a Zoom call. Yeah, you gotta have a pretty knowledgeable senior who has a computer, number one, and then who knows how to do Zoom. So what we're trying to do is to be face-to-face with that client, either on the phone or face-to-face with them, either face-to-face or Zooming or doing something on your iPhone to get a hold of them, okay? You can Skype, all depends on the client. You may strike out on everything and you just gotta wing it and say you sent the card in. But the hardest thing is that when you're on the phone speaking to somebody, it's kind of hard to sell them on remembering something they sent in a week or a month ago, because believe it or not, they probably forgot sending it in. They may not have forgot sending in a card, yet they may not remember sending in your card. So my thoughts is to tap on it. If they give you, well, I don't remember, no, I would never send a card like that in. What I would do, no problem, thank you very much. Put that card off to the side, and when you're ready to go door knock, now you got that lead, you haven't blown it by being a horses behind on the phone or being too aggressive or being too tough, because they don't forget that, believe it or not. Then go to the door and knock on the door and tell them they recently sent this card in. The more opportunities that you have to make a sale is better for your pocketbook. People don't recall why they sent the card in. Think of some different things that you feel comfortable saying you sent the card in for this year. Some agents may say final expense, life insurance, an accidental plan, or a program for either your children or grandchildren. Some may say life insurance, a cremation plan, Medicare, Medicare Advantage. So pick out 3 to 4 different topics that you know where you can discuss it with them, so when you walk in the door, it's not a one and done and you leave and you get upset because the person sent the card in for the wrong reason. A lot of times people just send these cards in because, as we've talked about, they are called responders. Yet, from the time they sent it to the time that you're there, something could have changed. Could have had death in the family. Somebody could have gone to the hospital and they had a high, huge copay that they didn't realize they were going to have. And it could have been a cousin or family member. So when you're there, always have in your mind, embedded in your mind, I want this blueprinted, that everybody wants to buy something. Okay, everybody wants to buy something from you. We are giving them choices of options for them to speak to us about. Our job is, you've already got the hook in them. Your job now is to pull the hook in real slowly to where you capture their attention, their trust, by just speaking slowly, speaking with them, and allow them to ask questions when you're face to face or on the phone with them. People that send the card in, I'm going to say 60 to 75% actually want to buy something. They really, really do. There's something on that card that got their attention. Yet, you know how when you sit and say, honey, let's go out. We've had this couch now for a long time, and I kind of want to freshen up the look of the house. Let's maybe go out and buy a big old carpet to put under there, a new coffee table, a new couch, a sofa seat. So now you're going to go out with the intentions that you're going to buy something. On the way there, your mind starts playing games with you. Probably going to cost too much. We probably should just stick with what we have. I don't want another payment. I don't want to spend time doing this here. Everybody, these thoughts are going through your mind. So when you go to somebody's house and they say, oh, I changed my mind, it's going to be way more expensive than what I'm planning on, Think about saying this here. I have felt the exact same way. I'm going to want to buy something and I think it's going to cost too much. Yet the beauty about today is that I'm an independent broker, an independent agent, whatever you want to say. I represent, my number is 26. I represent 26 different companies, 26 different carriers, 26 different insurance carriers. And what my job is to do is find out what you need and to work it in your budget. Just give me 2 minutes of your time. I'll be out here. I just want to get you the information because I know it's something you want and something you probably do need. Okay? So what you're doing, you're elbowing them just a little bit. You're elbowing them, you're punching them a little bit, you're hitting them a little bit. And what you're doing, you're trying to lower their guard by you just being nice. And what you're doing is that you're slowly working your way in the house by just telling them, you felt the same way. I know how you feel. Just give me 2 minutes of your time. I want to save you money. I want to help you out. Take your time. When you're doing a replacement policy, review it, look it over, make notes, give them suggestions, go from 10 to a 20. It may actually be you have no choice but to let them keep that 10 and add another one. It just depends on their age and the carrier they had it with before. When it comes to cross-selling, it starts either at the door or when you're on the phone. Pick out 4 topics that you want to talk about and tell them people send these cards in for 1 of 4 reasons, 1 of 3 reasons. Let them see that you do more than one. I promise you, you'll make more sales because you're giving yourself an opportunity to sell only 1, to sell 4 items. You may want to throw in 5, whatever your comfort zone is. So take your time, go slow, continue moving forward because people do want to buy. People buy because they like you, they trust you, they like the tone of your voice, they like your body language, they like how you dress, they like how you look at them. So just take your time, do what you know how to do best, get in front of them. If you need any help, call me, call your manager. We love you. If you need anything, give us a buzz. Thank you guys. Make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.